The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Should be able to hear me loud and clear now, I'm hoping. Just a quick message through on Skype as per usual would be fantastic. There's also somewhere over on the right-hand side where you can ask a question. So, you know, over there it should say questions, and then you can drop that box down apparently, I don't know, apparently, or chat or something or other, and I can type in here, hello everyone. So we can sort of keep it all uniform, you know. You can see over on the right-hand side there where it says chat. So if you just you can jump in there and answer back and do all sorts of bits and pieces. It's probably a better way than using Skype, because I've got enough to deal with Skype. And so I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb. And I'm just going to check out. Matthew Christensen. Hopefully you're on there too, mate. Oh, beautiful. All right, okay. So, all right, everyone. Well, glad to see you all here. Look, there's only 13 people online at the moment. There's like 65 that have registered. So who knows what sort of problems people have been running into and things like that. You know, deleting the email and not registering for them all and all those sorts of stuff. You know, I don't have time to fix it all up on Saturdays, I'm afraid. So, you know, knowing that we do a webinar every single Saturday and every single Thursday night, if nobody has the invites for them, or if they haven't sort of set up for it well before the Saturday, don't bother, because I can't help. I can't do anything. I'm just far too busy. I'm far too busy doing this. Well, $1,018 profit for the day so far. Now have a look at this for a strike rate, right? I'm going to blow my own trumpet. If I had a six-pack of Coronas in front of me, I'd drink them all at the same time and jump up and down like a lunatic. Anyway, have a look at this. I've had one loss all day today. One. And that was that Baja thing. Remember the Baja one that shortened up that we shouldn't have been on? And I said that I'm going to use that for the example of what we shouldn't do. If it wasn't for that runner, I would have a 100% strike rate today. Absolutely phenomenal, right? So, you know, and all I've been doing today is 10 and 50. The only one that I've not done 10 and 50 on today was that Baja. Why? Because I knew that even I was doing something stupid. And it was a bit silly, right? And I'll explain why in a second. We're going to go over it. But I've seen a few poop and dams and stuff in the chat today and things like that. What we've got to do, guys, we've got to minimise the garbage in between the good races and good indications. You know, there's been, you know, really, I do still have Wanganui and stuff like that into there today. I'm going to remove it. I was just showing somebody else before the reason that we don't do them and things like that, because they couldn't understand. They said, you know, well, if there's races there, it shouldn't matter where it is and what it is. You should still be able to do them, should you? And, you know, sometimes when I'm doing demos, people will you know, speak their mind in that way, even though their information isn't based on too much. My first invest for the day today was probably not one that I would have expected any of you guys to get on, right, to be honest with you. I've just got to turn my grey back on here, because that did make a world of difference towards the end there, but it's not something that you guys would have got on, right? I got on that number 9, Lucia Del Mar. So I'm just going to forget about that one for a second, because, I mean, like, that was, you know, in under the radar, and, you know, we were sort of like, I was taking a bit of a look at it today and all that sort of stuff. Number 4, Phenomenal Lass, was probably one there that, you know, most people might have taken a bit of a look at. Number 10, Irish Lights, to a much less degree, no, not even so, right? And the only other one there was number 2, Noesis, which I was also taking a bit of a look at and things like that as well. So I was using a bit more information. Really, that race, you know, probably a no invest, to be honest with you, like if we're being completely conservative and saying, you know, whatever. So that was a good start from me. But anyway, the next one that I was on, and, you know, like, you know, again, which is based on confidence and things like that, the indications were certainly there, but it was, you know, again, it was a matter of sort of looking for where that strongest colour was. 10 minutes. the strongest colour that we had in the home TAB, and I know that there was a couple of people that mentioned that as well, I think, earlier today, which was Street Lover. I did jump on that each way. In a field of only 6 runners, I am risking not getting that third place dividend coming in, but again, like I think these things are based on confidence. Confidence goes hand in hand with an accumulating bank balance, and you can afford to take those sorts of risks sometimes when it is called for. So, I go through the process of elimination. It was an odds-on race as well, by the way. Not only is it an odds-on race and there's only 6 runners in the race and things like that, the indications were really strong in my book, and I certainly went with that. The next one for me is, I'm just going to have a bit of a look. Was it that Alcatraz? No, let me just have a look in my money manager. That was actually a really good Dutch bet, that one. But I went from Flemington Race 1 to Randwick Race 1, and then to Flemington Race 2. So let's go to Flemington Race 2. Aloha there. Now, that's what we call a clear standout selection. That is absolutely awesome. You've got a nice big gap between the top-rated runner and the rest of what's happening in that race. There's well over a 30-point difference between that standout rated runner at 87 points and the next one at 53. I certainly did go with that number 16. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I was looking at a couple of others there, as I sort of briefly mentioned in the chat, I think, as well, which was the number 2, Bombay Sling, but certainly going by the ratings and going by those late indications at 0 seconds, that certainly swayed me to only take that runner. Now, just, yes, hindsight's 20/20. Okay, we all know that. Hindsight is 20/20, but have a look at this. Beautiful indications on the favourite. Bang. Right? Nothing on the second favourite. Nothing. All right, the number 2, maybe, you could sort of say the number 2, okay, so let's throw the number 2 in there just for good measure. Number 16, not too bad. Number 10, I probably wouldn't be talking about too much because, it's not real strong colour, not real strong money. A little bit happening there in New South Wales. But then number 4 with the solid colours across all 3 TABs there as well. There's the basis for your trifecta, what I mean? That's not a bad trifecta to come in there. And I've been doing that a little bit lately, just sort of having a look at those opportunities because they do come in. Morphettville, didn't touch it, hurdle race. Not enough money in the pool either at that stage. So from Flemington 2, I went to Randwick Race 2 and I took the number 4. Now, okay, yeah, there we go. There's that Baja thing. Guys, we've spoken about this a few times. I even made the mistake in that race. I got, I was like a deer in the headlights when I saw those indications. Very, very strong indications, no doubt. But if you have a look at the top 4 runners in that race, they're all paying unders for the place. They're all paying quite short for the place. And so it doesn't show a lot of confidence in this race, does it? You have a look at some of the clear, confident indications that we've seen today, and the place divvies have been $2.63 with a $5 place dividend, right? Not coming down to $1.80, $1.70, $1.50, $1.40. I mean, that was a mistake, that race. I'm not kidding you. That was a mistake, that race. Even from 5 minutes down, even on that Baja, it was $1.90, $1.80, $1.50 at 0 seconds, $1.60, $1.40. Everything in that race, the whole top half of that field, look at it. It's just shocking. It was the biggest mistake that we made today for those who jumped on that. Very, very, very big mistake. There is no confidence in that race. Everything is paying way less than $2 for the place. We should have just walked away from it knowing that more than 50% of that race, even that 5th favourite there, even that thing was paying quite short for the place given what its win dividend was and things like that. Learn a lesson from that because, even though those indications were very strong, the each-way money in that race that we can tell because there is so many of those runners paying far less than $2 for the place indicates to us that there's not a lot of confidence there. It really could be anyone's race, right? And that's pretty much how it turned out. Look, I love that horse, Street Fighter, just as from a fundamental point of view, everybody. That's won the Black Book through spring. It did really well last year. It's going to do really well again this year. Strike one as well. That was one that I wanted to Black Book today, which I've got a note on my desk here to Black Book that. That probably had, right, with the utmost of respect to all of us, I mean, even I didn't see it, that's probably got the most unusual outlay in the whole race, right?